Lon, do we have a quorum?
Yes, we do, Mayor.
All
I'll
right,
call
we'll
roll.
do roll call.
We're ready, Tanya? Yes.
Good morning again. We're gonna call this meeting to order of the Board of Directors meeting of the Sewage and Water Board, New Orleans. And Ms. Yolanda,
Mayor Cantrell.
present?
Councilmember King. Director Barnes.
Here.
Director Duplessis.
Present.
Director Kennedy. Here. Director Guzman. Director Pacho.
Here.
Director Sloss.
Here.
Director Howard.
Here.
Director Scholas. Director Anthrop.
Present.
Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you very much, and good morning once again. I just wanted to start off by just welcoming two of our, one new board director, and that's Mr. Chadwick Kennedy, who is a representative of the Board of Liquidation, City of New Orleans. So we welcome you, sir, to the Sewage and Water Board. Look forward to your leadership with this board. Also wanting to welcome our new Chief of Staff, Ms. Renee Laparoulery. Thank you so much, Renee, for joining the Sewage and Water Board. Come with just a wealth of knowledge and experience in moving on many platforms, local, state, and even working at the federal level on infrastructure and the like. So again, I'm going to ask Ms. Yolanda. I need a motion actually, to approve the minutes of our board meeting December 2023. Got a motion?
Second.
Seconded, so motion by Director Sloss, seconded by Director Pacho. All in favor?
Aye.
Any questions? Any abstentions? All right. Ayes have it, and minutes have been adopted. Also wanted to, Poco, when I called your name, thought about the successful board retreat. So let's thank Poco for his leadership in making sure we had our retreat. It was really beneficial to the organization, so thank you.
Thank you.
So with that, we're going to ask Ghassan for your report.
All right, good morning, Madam Mayor, Board of Directors. I want to echo your welcoming to our new director, Director Kennedy. We're looking forward to, again, your leadership and your insights. So we're very excited that you're able to join us. So today I have a year in review and 2024 priorities for you. It's probably lengthier than usual in terms of my presentations. I try to be as abbreviated as possible. And I wanted to maybe give you a quick update on our current pumping and power and freeze update before we jump into the actual presentation. I do feel compelled also to share my thoughts a bit about the retreat. I do want to thank you, Mayor, and Director Stott, and everybody who joined. It was a very, very meaningful workshop. I thought it was brought lots of continued alignment, clarity on what our priorities are. I think it's going to be very evident how it will inform what this year would look like in terms of our goals and priorities. So I'm very, very thankful that many of you were there, offering a lot of insight and support. So it meant a lot to us. So with that, just a quick update on our pumping and power. That is a very customary slide that you've all got used to seeing. So we want to be consistent with that. We're currently carrying about 45 megawatts of available power, which will be more than adequate to run all of our needed pumps in an event. Doesn't have a lot of redundancy in that number, and that will come when T4 is brought back to service, which is anticipated to happen sometime in February. We're very excited about that. And in terms of the pumping availability, we have 93 of the 99. It's a little bit on the lower side from what we've seen last couple of years, but that's just par for the course. And again, funding is a challenge in terms of having to keep up with all the repairs and maintenance that we need to do for our pumps. And we're continuing to improve our dashboard, which has received a lot of positive feedback. It's a great start, and we're obviously going to continue to grow it and make it more are, not only real time, but also more informative than with what we have started with. So, very good place to be in terms of pumping and power. So, year in review. Again, none of these things are gonna be new to you because you're very involved and very engaged board. But I thought it would be good to start with some of the challenges that we faced in 2023. Acknowledge that, obviously, while we're making a lot of great progress, we continue to face issues. Obviously, the top on the list is the turbine fragility, and whether it's T4 being out of offline, T5 is offline, the issues that come with T5, and some of the quality of life issues related to that in terms of our neighbors, and we're continuing to work with that. We've had two major, outside the probably hundreds of water main breaks or sewer backups. We had two major ones. One water main break that happened on Easter, if you recall, in Uptown, that caused a lot of issues. Our response was superb, if you ask me, in terms of the resources we put on it, and people spent their Easter Sunday on that site managing it and mitigating it. And we had the major force main sewer by pump station D that caused us to do a bypass, and that was not a very desirable situation, but we had no choice but to have a bypass that involved EPA and EDQ. So that's fully repaired, obviously, and we're looking to replace that main within about a year or so. The saltwater intrusion was a major event and challenge for us. Again, the response on the team here from the board was amazing in terms of finding a solution, be on the ready to manage and mitigate that situation. And luckily, we did not have to spend any significant amount of money to manage that because it went away on its own.
And we're still advocating for a permanent fix. So that has not left sight. I mean, that is definitely a priority.
One of the drivers for our water quality master plan is the saltwater intrusion. Right. We have to mitigate that as part of our solution. And obviously, we had a lot of attention as it relates to some of our samplers who were not doing their job properly, and 3 of them are no longer with us. They're not they're not serving the utility anymore for a good reason, and we've responded, and then we'll share with you a little bit of the adjustments we've made in order to stay ahead of that and make sure that does not happen again.
Is there an opportunity to have some kind of GPS monitor so we can tell where they go?
Yes, and we'll go over that. In terms of customer service as a utility, that's one of our top priorities and goals is to address our customer service and improve the way we improve their experience with us. There's staggering numbers that you see in terms of calls and emails and all the interactions that we have with our customers. Most of them are likely billing, but we have calls about anything and everything that to do with our utility. We've been focused on improving and increasing the number of our customer service. We're at 90%. Obviously, 100% is our goal, but it seemed very, very elusive goal in terms of finding all the skilled people that we want to put on the front line to manage our customers. So it's been a challenge, but 90% is a significant improvement, which obviously resulted in decreased wait times for customers, specifically 7 minutes in terms of answering the phone, which is, to me, is very significant, and we obviously are going to continue to improve on that. One quick thing, Renee just hired a training manager that's going to obviously improve the quality of our interaction with our customers in terms of written responses, how we interact in terms of saying the right words, just again providing a better service to our customers. So he's been looking for that right person for a while, and luckily just found her, and we're very very excited.
Where is she?
She was just hired, so
Oh, okay.
yeah.
She starts the 30th. Oh. 29th.
Great.
Another areas that we've been focusing on is the transfer accounts. That used to be a huge issue for us. We're talking about in the hundreds, if not the thousands, in terms of customers receiving their first bill when they open an account, or if they transfer, or whatever the case may be. And that backlog has been eliminated. Now we're dealing with just a routine number that's just running at, I don't know, a couple hundred a month, which is very typical of people just moving from one place to another, or just opening a new account.
Great.
Yeah, very very major. It's kind of like in the back, nobody pays attention to it, but I mean we know what that looks like, and obviously huge improvement thanks to Rene and his team for focusing on that. And then obviously the ball on holds, we had a significant backlog as well, and with a new resolution or ordinance that precludes us from billing somebody if we were 3 months behind. So we're making sure that we don't have that happen, to enable us to send a bill in a timely fashion. So again, between Gray and Rene, it's been a very major focus and certainly improvement. You probably have seen, you see our crews out and about on daily basis, including the weekends, holidays. We're out there responding to all sorts of calls, whether it's backed up sewers or water main breaks. And you could see the significant number that we've addressed. That's at 26,500 work orders. That's a remarkable achievement in decreasing the work order backlog by 25%.
What is the backlog right now?
Do I have the number?
So the water and sewer backlog's at about 1,800 work orders right now. Paving is right about 1,400.
So
Wow.
significantly less than what it used to be.
That's really, yeah.
You all know that because you supported that initiative of focusing on pavement repairs, and again, a tremendous amount of work that had been done and will continue to be done to remove all the backlog and stay ahead of any new location that we excavate that will be repaired within 4 weeks. That's our goal, and I know Steve and I are very very confident that's going to happen by the end of the year, if not sooner. So again, very lingering issue for years, and we're seeing the end of the issue as we speak.
And the fair share agreement in terms of that has really moved the ball and targeted.
Absolutely, absolutely. No
Keeps-
money, no action. And in this case, we made a case that, we doubled our budget in 23. We ran out of money because we were cranking work, at a faster pace. And we made a case that, with $4 million additional funding, we can continue that pace, and we did, and we knocked down over 1,000 locations because of that. Again, it's just identifying the issue, finding the funding, and executing is what we're trying to do. Specific to water mains, and just so you have the numbers in terms of how much, 1,200 water main breaks in our system is a very, very high number. Other cities, if they're dealing with 500, that's it's an event for them. So again, we're continuing to respond to keep water flowing and water being delivered to your homes. But it takes a lot of effort, and at the end of the day, those water mains still old mains that are been repaired, and we're chasing those leaks on a daily basis. But nonetheless, we do what we do, and we're keeping water flowing, and then obviously we're collecting sewers and wastewater and making repairs on those in a timely fashion. Power complex is, as you all know, moving forward, is tracking very well. The Entergy substation is ready, which is a great milestone and great accomplishment. Obviously, utility rack is becoming more and more evident and more pronounced. You can't miss it. And again, we're very excited to have you and host maybe next board meeting in, after Mardi Gras, probably in March, so you get to see the progress there. Obviously, the capital outlay challenge or hiccup last year caused us concern, but we responded and adjusted and improvised and kept the momentum going. So smart meters, again, 1,400. It's a slow, but I would describe it as very methodical and thoughtful approach to making sure what we're doing is flawless in terms of producing that bill that we've been promising our customers that's going to be accurate and timely. So when you see, I'm sorry, that will be in the 24. I'll share some numbers and projections. Again, being methodical is key for a project that a lot of people are counting on it being a game changer, and we want to make sure that that is the case. As you know, we've started our financial information management system. We've selected a vendor. They're already working on that. That's obviously going to be a couple-year project, but very critical in terms of managing our finances in a centralized location, especially critical when it comes to making payments, tracking payments for our vendors, but also equally important, be able to be nimble enough to respond and provide documents to grantors like FEMA or EPA, so we're able to get faster reimbursement. That's been obviously a major issue for us, and it's finally being done. Asset management, again, managing our assets is very critical, and then we're in the process of doing a needs assessment to put an RFP out to look for that new system. I know we're working with the city as well, because if you're in the same, they're in the same spot, and we will make sure we may not have the same system. Those systems are able to talk to each other, and there's some overlap somehow to make sure that we're basically creating synergy with the two approaches and two systems working.
Well, and this is just building a way, I would say, a path forward for the city based on the investments that we're making in our assets, to be able to track when we've made the investments and when we need to maintain. And so this is a game changer as well on both sides, on the DPW side, but also the Sewage and Water Board side. But it's all asset management, and we need to do it.
Absolutely.
Are they compatible?
Yes, ma'am, they will be. So we're working in collaboration, the administration and the Sewage and Water Board, because we want this asset management system to not only work, but to be compatible. Because again, when you think about the work that we have to do, the cross-pollination of the work, we have to manage it on both sides. And we want accurate data and information. So that, yes, they will be talking.
Absolutely. Obviously, one of our top missions is to provide the cleanest and purest water for our customers. So we're specific to the sampling. We have improved the way we manage that proactively with the help of our internal auditor. We brought tools to assist us in analytics, where we bring two sets of data, mesh them together, and make sure not only we're tracking people where they are supposed to be at a specific location, but we're also combining that data with the samples and what's been submitted, and joining those to look for any maybe anomalies or any concerns or conflicts, so we can address that sooner rather than later. So video cameras in the cars, again, with real-time monitoring. So we believe that this process here is gonna definitely eliminate any, I guess, inappropriate behavior or people trying to cut corners. In terms of backflow prevention, I guess it's gaining more and more attention because we're visiting businesses and homes, and this is a rule and it's regulation by LDH where we must do it. It's the law basically, and we've started that project about 3-4 years ago, and to stand up a program this size is a huge undertaking, but we're doing well. We're obviously trying to be as informative with our customers, trying to help them understand what we're trying to do. At the end of the day, this is meant to protect our water system from any cross-contamination. So program is moving ahead. We took it in-house after having a consultant help us for about a couple of years. Was proven more cost-effective to just with all the right people in-house. We took that and
Well, and this is another example of how this board made a tough decision 3 years ago, not only to hire a consultant to do the analysis, but to go even deeper than what was being required of us. And when we went deeper, we found that yes, cross-contamination was there, and we spent the money to fix that problem. And cross-contamination at that particular time showed us that the water that we were using to cool the turbines, that was the cross-contamination in terms of drinking water. So we corrected that, and again, going deeper, being intentional about what we're doing for this utility.
obviously our human resources is very critical. That's how we can serve our community in a high level. So we're focusing on different ways of attracting talent in our community. This was the job fair that we hosted in June that brought us about 80 new hires from that. So we're gonna obviously continue, we're gonna double down and do it again because we felt it was very, very efficient way of finding talent and hiring them. That's almost practically 1 out of 10 people who showed up were hired, so very good payback. We brought a new HR director who's obviously making a huge focus of her, Julie Scholler, in terms of boosting recruitment and among many other priorities in terms of improving HR and payroll for us. So she's hit the ground running and making significant improvements with the help of her team, who are extremely dedicated and serving the utility very well. And obviously with the people plan, that's continuing, that's tracking. We have the first deliverable in our hand in terms of surveys, some recommendations. We will be sharing that with you shortly. I just received it late last week, and I want to go through it, read it, and then we'll be sharing that with you when it's ready. And then finally, in terms of year in review, just the amount of funding that we went after and were able to secure, that's a significant amount of money that we go out anywhere and everywhere to explore our options. And $105 million to help us with major capital projects throughout on all three facets of our utility is significant and remarkable. So what's coming up here is a short 2-minute video that we want to post on our line and use our obviously social media to promote our successes of 2023. So I'd like obviously ask for your patience in watching it and maybe provide some feedback if you think it's effective from a customer perspective, public perspective. So.
starting at 0. Yay. I like it. Yeah.
Big kudos to our communications team who's listening to you. You know, you want us to tell the story, so they're trying to find ways to do it. Is it long? Is it short? Is it relevant?
I have one question.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had 97% actual reads.
No, I don't either.
Not since we've been in charge.
That's what it said up there. And I
So the 97 is accurate, actually. So as you know, we split
Yeah,
the
but
population.
that's not what it says. It doesn't say we did 97% of 50%.
The
Okay.
implication is we read the meters 97% of the time. We
Not
only did
true.
estimates 3%.
We need
So
to
we
correct
can
that.
say 97%
Of
every
the-
other month.
Every other month is
That's what
critical.
it was trying to communicate.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I know it's trying to communicate, it's just
Okay, no,
saying
that's a
something
great
different.
point. We don't want to be misleading by any means.
No, no,
so,
no.
Yeah, 97% every other month.
I really liked it. I thought the length was just enough to keep my attention. You highlighted the key features. Just one thing I would add or just point out, we don't have anything in this from the customer perspective. There's no customer voice in this. I know this is coming from the Sewage and Water Board, but we're reducing our matrix. But if the customers don't feel it, or we don't get their perspective in it, perception is everything, right? I would not change this, but a point moving forward, I would like to see the customer voice represented in something like this.
So maybe it's the next set is from that perspective.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, meaning from the customer's voice, like you're saying.
So as part of our 2024 communication plan is to have a scientific survey that our communication team is going to administer shortly. And they're going to try to create a baseline and then continue to monitor and look for improvements. So that would be a great way to capture, obviously, what our customers, think of us, what they want us to be, and all that. So certainly a great opportunity for that. So.
There was one point, I can't remember which one it was, because it covered a lot of stuff, and I thought the pace of it was good, but where it seemed to me what we did in 23 should have been versus before, a comparative number. And I'd have to go back and look at it again, because
Yeah.
X amount of lead line inspections, well, how many did we do the year before? Is there
Yeah.
an improvement or,
Yeah, it's relative, right? So it's
Yeah,
you-
I mean, I'm assuming we're highlighting things that we did better.
yes,
So-
or new that we've never done before, or
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
absolutely, yeah. I mean, the key here was to be as streamlined and simple, again, to get people's attention, keep it.
Congratulations on not using jazz music, like every other ad in the world.
Robin, you were gonna say?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I think the survey's a great idea, but in the interim, just even like short videos with sort of people talking about how something was handled, or a problem was handled, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's the survey and the science, and
Yeah.
then there's the emotion and,
Yes.
the people.
And we can have a combination of good and not so good, right? Just to be transparent and be complete and thorough. Yeah. Okay. I see Grace is making notes. All right, I got maybe 5 more minutes, so bear with me. I'm going to go through this for, again, it's reflecting everybody's priority in this room. So we're going to obviously continue with the smart meter program. This year is going to exhibit a huge amount of progress, and here's the number that we're projecting to accomplish. We're talking about 75,000 meters installed in 2024.
That'll be half.
That's that's exactly it is. So, while we have been, more slow and methodical, this is going to be the major rollout, and just going to increase our crews, and as the more comfortable we get, we're going to just continue to add crews to expedite installation. So, part of our obligation is to communicate with our customers if they have a lead service line. If it becomes evident, we will make sure that they are made aware of that. And obviously with that comes, a documentation that will help them protect, themselves and their children and, everybody, the users in that household, with with relevant information that we'll put in their hands.
Are we gonna offer for a fee to replace that while we're doing the meter?
So eventually we'll have a program for replacing.
But it's not gonna be concurrent with the meter, smart
No,
meter?
no, the two very separate programs, and for us to do it in that aggressive timeline that we've created, it's just the only way we can be done. And they're two really not related in terms of installation. You could virtually install a brand new, swap the meter without really touching any of the outside pipes, because there's couplers on the inside that just, allow you to do that. But if we encounter something that is lead, we will definitely, as an obligation, inform our public. And because of the antenna and that it needs a hole basically in the cover, and we showed you that once before, and we'll show you again. In order for the transmitter to work, we punch a hole and put a plastic cover that protrudes maybe half an inch above the actual cover. So because of that, we had to play around with the actual design to allow for that to happen, and so we're moving with a slightly modified design, but protecting the integrity of the actual crescent meter design that people love.
What is the color,
The color,
yes, of the meter?
It's like
Cover.
it's metal, it's raw
Metal.
metal, so it will
black.
look initially very rusty
Mhm.
for a while, but then eventually will oxidize and will look like
Okay.
regular, like any manhole cover anywhere in the city. That rust will go away and become a little bit shiny and grayish than anything
you.
else.
So it's what we have, it's not gonna be different than what we have,
That is
color-wise.
correct. That's correct.
No.
We do have
Maybe-
options to bring color, but cost, and then becomes.
No, I've got any complaints about the color, so I'm glad to
Oh,
know it's gonna
yeah.
go away.
It's gonna be fine.
So the color would look like that initially, like basically the rust, but eventually it will go away. It's just a metal
Yeah.
that
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So obviously, this
One
year
thing
is
off
going to
my
be
to-do list.
the drainage year in terms of highlighting the need for funding for drainage. Our system is performing today, but it's a matter of time where it's going to start failing us. We're focusing on power. We're making sure that there's adequate and reliable power. But then, if everything else doesn't work, then the system doesn't work. So we're going to be very methodical, very intentional about sharing the actual factual story about our assets and where they are, and the risk that we face if we keep deferring these maintenance and replacements. So this one picture captures it, very, very effectively. But obviously, we're going to talk about the numbers, how much money we get, how much money we need. And Mayor, you talk about that 13 million, kind of money that we have left over. 10 goes to SELA for our commitment for projects that have been completed, leaving us with a little over $3 million to do a capital of a city our size with the most critical system that we have, which is drainage system, with $3.5 million to improve it. It's just
Yeah, the roll forward didn't happen, but you see the school board rolled theirs forward.
yeah.
See that? Unbelievable.
Because the council couldn't.
So.
See what you see?
But clearly, there's an appreciation to the gap, and I'm starting to sense that there's support beyond the board in terms of what can be done, and I believe a drainage fee is inevitable, and we need to assist in making the case and tell the story. So that's our job, and we're going to be again pointed if we have to take people to places and show them, in real life, in person, the deterioration and the risk associated what happens if this fails. I mean, you can see in this instance the piles that hold the pipe is no longer holding the pipe because of the deterioration and loss of material there. You look at this turbine, generator that would back up power for energy. So if energy system goes down, this is what we rely on to run our pumps. And we know for a fact that this generator cannot run for long periods of time. So if we have an extended outage, the pump station is rendered inoperational. So I mean, it's real. And if we have to take people out there and run it in front of them and let it die in front of them, we gotta do what we gotta do. Even CETA, the future projects, we have to match with a local share, and we have been leveraging millions and millions of dollars with improving our drainage capacity, and at one point we may have to say we can't. Take your money elsewhere, which would be a terrible place to be. So again, this is imminent, and we're going to continue to make the cases, and not without causing alarm, but make it real and make it sobering in terms of we're responsible for what's going to happen to the city next year and the year after. Obviously, we're going to continue with our power complex.
Because the thing about when something bad happens, we, like a bad kid, we put our head down and get whipped by the press and by the citizens. I mean, I'm just thinking, really, I don't even know how this would work exactly, but some kind of a campaign. This isn't our fault. It's your fault. You're not funding us. We can't do work without funding. And I don't know. This is a different kind of a discussion, but. We need to be offensive about that instead of defensive. That turbine 5 broke, so it flooded. Yeah, that's because we weren't funded, because we didn't get the roll for it. We didn't get whatever it was. I don't know exactly how that works. That's not my area, but it's you can't do things without money.
Well, we're going to do a state of the utility right after Mardi Gras to just set the tone and just the existing conditions that we're faced with, which are tied to the 2024 goals and priorities that Ghassan is speaking about now, and that we focused on in our retreat. So
yeah, absolutely. It's gonna take a lot of a collective action, right? And the more people, the more informed they are, the more they understand, appreciate the risk. I think it's gonna become more manageable.
If they fund it and it's a benefit to get
Yeah, yeah. I mean, just a simple example. We have money to repair surface cuts.
Yeah.
We made a difference.
Oh, yeah.
Without the $4 million additional money, we would have stopped working, and the backlog would stay there. So yeah, money does make a big difference. Started the water quality master plan. Again, like you said, Mayor, saltwater intrusion is definitely one of the drivers. Lead and copper rule and the revisions that are imminent. Definitely a huge consideration, and and again, the emerging contaminants. It's a great opportunity to manage a lot of challenges ahead with the well thought out plan, and then obviously the execution is going to be very key.
absolutely, and you just focus right here. The point is, last renovation on our primary water treatment plant was 1959.
Right. In the meantime, obviously, we're making it work. We're producing good water. As you know, we started refurbishing parts of Sycamore Gallery, and we're going to obviously continue to do that. So lead and copper rule revisions and improvements are coming. We are in a public comment period now. By February 6th, all comments will be in, and then we suspect that minor changes may happen, but it's coming. And in terms of requiring us to do an inventory, the replacement requirements for all the lead lines. So far, what's on the proposal is that within 10 years, we're obligated to remove all lead lines from the city. That's a huge, huge feat. And if it comes with money, it's obviously maybe it could be accomplished, but without it, it's going to be a huge challenge. So currently, we have about 3 to 4 years worth of funding from the IJA, but if once that sunsets and there's nothing that would continue, it's going to be a huge gap for not just us, for many utilities who are taking this on. So hopefully the federal government will continue that funding.
And the good news here for our utility, we have already started our own assessments and further along than many municipalities throughout the country. We know that we have 55,000 and upward of lead lines. And so, again, we know what the goal is.
Absolutely. I mean, a case in point, our team has already identified 6 daycares that have lead that we're gonna reach out to, and way before this becomes law, hopefully mitigate that, and in collaboration with them, they replace their half, we replace our half, and then the issue is totally gone. So yeah, we're trying to be as proactive and basically following the intent of the law before the law becomes effective.
So let me ask a question about, I'm a little confused about something. If the city is responsible for pipes that are smaller than 36 inches, what is our involvement in this? Because these are all pipes that are smaller than 36 inches, right?
So we're talking about our water distribution and the lead lines that provide lead service line that bring drinking water to your household. The system you're referring to
It's
is the
drainage.
storm. So a
Is it-
totally different system that has nothing to do with this lead and copper rule.
Okay.
So
So the split is only in,
it's just the drainage
Drainage.
system, yeah.
got it.
And the quick history is because millage support drainage, we lost the millage, we lost part of the responsibility.
Okay, thank you. I was
Yeah.
really confused.
Wait, one question.
Yeah.
On the previous slide, you say for all registered schools, we made a distinction, so what does that mean?
That are on record, that we know that they're schools.
Okay.
I mean, if we don't know something and institution exists, we can't really monitor it. So,
Okay.
so everything that's on the books and we know about, we will reach out and we'll provide that assistance.
Thanks, yeah.
And hopefully, the more this becomes public, and if somebody is not registered and need to be, or at least want to seek help, maybe they'll initiate the conversation. So, again, in response, we're trying to get ahead of it so we can hit the ground running. The inventory is happening as we speak. It's due October 2024. We're confident that's going to be the case. We're going to have a replacement plan. By then, we're in the middle of putting an RFP for a delivery approach for the lead service line replacements. The money is in SRF. We started the the communication and the application for that money. So a lot of things are happening. So we're able to commence a real project hopefully in 2025. So in terms of an actual program. In the meantime, we encounter some, we replace them, or we put them on a list and they become a priority for us. And I know Steve's team have been very focused on that and trying to get some of those services replaced when they can, and especially when they're encountered.
Asad,
Yes, sir.
should, going back to to the last bullet point, additional communication and outreach as a priority for 24, should we not have some indication of how we intend to do that? How we intend to enhance or improve communication instead of just stating it, to identify
Yeah,
how we're going to
absolutely. So shortly, we're gonna provide you with a communication plan with multiple buckets in it.
Yeah.
And lead service line replacement is definitely one major bucket in terms of our focus, our intention to be out there in public, talking about it, informing folks what they can do in the meantime to protect themselves. So you will see that from Grace and her team very shortly. But this is definitely top priority for us in terms of communicating with the public, and because they need to be educated, they need to appreciate the value of having that lead line removed, because we need to get them to say yes and allow us to use federal dollars to remove their portion as well as ours. So if I'm using utility money, I'm precluded from using that money for replacing a private portion of that lead line. But the federal dollars want us to do full replacement, so they're encouraging us and allowing us to use the money to replace the private portions. So, but without them saying yes, we can't do it. So it's going to be very critical to reach out, educate them, and tell them no cost to you. We'll do it for you. Just give us a temporary limited easement or temporary access, and then we'll do it, and we'll restore whatever we disrupt.
Do we need legislation to,
It will help if there's a. So we're pursuing something that not going to be seem heavy-handed, while protecting people's privacy and private rights and all that. We want to be able to conditionally be permitted to go on very limited time to remove a danger from your property and then walk away, with full restoration. So, but it's, as I've seen it in other cities, it's not very intuitive, where people say, yeah, just go ahead and do it. So they have to appreciate the danger, appreciate the easiness and the practicality
And the
of us
cost.
doing it,
And the cost.
and the cost. So if there's a slight mandate that puts some pressure on them, it might incentivize them saying, yes, come and do it for us. Because if they don't let us, they may have to be on the hook doing it themselves. So that's what we're trying to navigate without, again, I don't want to be heavy-handed about it.
Right, and that is a legislative priority for this year in terms of that access and easement.
Right. So with that, we're certainly confident we're going to keep the momentum going and going to continue to transform the utility. So with your help and support, and we're very excited about 2024. And that concludes my.
Thank you, Ghassan. Any other questions, comments relative to the executive director's report? And if not, we'll move on. We have the financial summary update. Our CFO.
Good morning, directors. Appreciate the opportunity to update everyone on November. I'm going to just make a few comments, not on every slide, and to save some time here. But we are very busy with the year-end close for December right now, working on our first close for December. These numbers are the November numbers, and then we'll end up doing our second close and prepare for the year-end audit. So very, very busy time while the project's going on. So a lot of those things that Ghassan was just referring to, the funding for those, you're going to see some approvals coming down very quickly to get the ball rolling with the lead and copper proposed funding. And also, I guess I want to mention on the year-end aspect with the HR payroll team, been working very hard in getting the 2.5% implemented, as we thank the mayor for making that a reality for employees. It really shows the commitment to employees, and it was a big job for HR payroll to get that into the system. That got done the first couple weeks of the year, and successful with that. So happy and appreciate the supportive of everyone in getting that done. For November, just to let you know, the revenue was 21.7 million. Operating revenues were about online with budget for year-to-date. Operating expenses were 28 million, continued to trend lower than the budget, mainly on the non-cash expenses side. So we'll continue to keep December open to get everything in for the audit, to get all the expenses captured, 23 that need to be, and then also continue with 24. So we're moving forward. On cash collections, December was at 19.9 million, just below the 23 average for the year. So as we've been discussing, this will be a continued focus area on collections. Continue to have additional activities we're going to report on actions taken and steps we're moving forward on, because this is a very critical area. You can see it degraded some from 2022 average, but again, the holidays, we expect to see a little dip, but we just need to remain consistent. On our monthly dashboard, I wanted to highlight the November days cash on hand for water was 232, that's line 9, 258 for sewer, so we remain having enough cushion there. Our debt service coverage is also doing fine because we're less than our budgeted expenses. And line 20 is the uncollected ratio. That's the last 12 months cash collected versus billed. So this has crept up with the lower average collection. So it's at 3.2% end of November. So again, that's where we're focusing on. And we do have our payment plan software that we've been working on a project. We're in the last stages of user acceptance testing on this software that's encouraging people to sign up for payment plans with a flexible payment option and additional ways to pay. So we're excited about that project. It's been successful with some other communities with back past due utility bills. So we'll be more to come on that one in the coming weeks. And then also, I guess I want to highlight on our top 100, where we talked about a couple weeks ago, we've made good progress over the last couple years on that, with over $8 million less in the top 100 accounts. So that's several that we've, between myself and other department divisions, worked across the departments to remove whatever hurdle that customer felt that caused the non-payment, and pay attention to those top accounts because they are generating a lot of revenue. So happy to report that progress. We'll continue again in 24. There's plenty more to follow up on. With our debt and grant activity is mostly the normal activity, same type of monthly reimbursements, so nothing unique there. And this is our change order slide. Steve's going to be going through the contract changes, but there was no major changes or any type of deferrals of capital projects that resulted from the November, or the change orders that are being talked about today. And then lastly, I want to just, for a minute, look at the customer experience slide. In the month of December, we served over 43,000, down a little bit from November to 48,000 customers served. And I continue to work really on a daily basis with Renee and his team as we're working to address these, whatever customer questions arise. Lots of time, and usually it's about the bill, but just really taking a holistic customer journey approach to their issue versus just a transactional, here, let me fix one thing that you think is a problem, because we're not anticipating the next question. So that's a transformational cultural shift in the way we treat customers. So got some strike teams already in place and working on some of these items. We'll continue to work with Renee's team. So yeah, overall, just very busy with the year-end activities. We'll be going through the audit. Like I say, be my third full cycle. So excited to work with the team and just continue to make progress where we can. And we'll be coming back and report to the board on past due customer receivables and breaking that down into different consumer profiles that we talked about. We use the December data and come back to you on the next Finance Committee with that information. So with that, happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions for Gray? All right, hearing none, we'll move on and we'll have the general superintendent's report.
All right, good morning. Fairly full agenda this morning. Any comments, Yolanda, before
None
we get
whatsoever,
started?
Steve.
Very good. We have 6 contract awards and renewals, 6 contract change orders by ratification, and 4 contract amendments. And we'll take each of those 3 groups in globo. The first contract award renewal is Resolution R001 2024. This is the first and final renewal, not award, excuse the agenda there, for contract 2022 SWB 88 for the furnishing of ferric sulfate for the Algiers and Carrollton water plants. This is between USALCO and the Sewerage and Water Board of New Orleans. It's in the amount of $2.6 million and will extend the contract through March 31st of 2025. The second is an award of contract 30258. This is part of our SERP program for Carrollton Basin number 17. This is an award to Wallace C. Drennan in the amount of $5.4 million. This is for 3 bids received on December 7th of 2023. The third is an authorization for professional services agreement. We talked about the Water Quality Master Plan. We received 2 proposals. It's not up on the screen there yet, but we received 2 proposals, one from CDM Smith and one from Ardura. This will be an award to CDM Smith, who was selected as the most qualified proposer, and it will be in the amount of $1.9 million. The fourth is a second renewal of contract 30238. This is our sewer point repair project that we have an on-call with Wallace C. Drennan. This will be in the amount of $5.2 million and will extend the contract another year through February 15th of 2025. The fifth is Resolution R013 2024. This is for an award of contract 30232. This is for Carrollton Basin number 3. This is another SERP-related program. On December 21st, we received 3 bids, of which BLD Services was the low at $8.3 million. And then the final contract will be award of contract 30259. This is resolution R0142024. This is another SERP program as part of the Carrollton Basin number 18 project. We received 4 bids on December 14th, with the low being Hard Rock at $14.9 million. Are there any questions on any of these?
Just one question or comment. Is Drennan the company that continuously sues Sewage and Water Board?
Yes.
I will defer to legal on that question.
Have bid protests from Drennan and other contractors as well, but yes.
Yep.
That's about a public record, right?
Yes, it's a matter of public record, yes.
Steve, I think there's a correction that needs to be made on one of these because we've got the name of Fleming Construction when it's supposed to be Wallace Drennan in the text. This is 002-2024. Recommended bid for Fleming Construction in the amount of $9 million.
Yes, I'm sorry. This should be,
Wallace Drennan.
Yep, that's correct.
That needs to be
That's
correct.
Yeah,
That
right.
text needs to be corrected.
there is one other correction later on with the engineering amendment, so we'll make sure that that gets added. Thank you.
And the amount.
And the amount.
Yeah.
Yeah, project manager.
And one other question, when it says that there are multiple, this is on 008-2024, explaining the DBE issue participation, it says there were multiple locations that required pipe bursting or lining that were performed by specialized contractors. That's as opposed to the contractor that has the contract?
So the CIPP lining and the pipe bursting is done by a subcontractor.
Okay,
And so,
okay, got it.
yeah, the bulk of that work is a specialized contractor. Unfortunately, there are not many DBEs that do
Okay.
that work.
Okay.
And the pipe bursting has been just a game changer as well.
Really, really helpful.
Really has. Okay, so we need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
We have a motion by Director Anthrop. We need a second.
So moved. Let me second it.
And we have a second by Director Howard. Any further questions? Okay. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Okay, those recommendations have been adopted.
Thank you very much. We have 6 change orders by ratification. The first is Resolution 003, 2024. This is ratification of change order number 2 for contract YG 190001 for the furnishing and delivering of gasoline and diesel fuel. This is an extension of 60 days and an increase of $300,000 between the Sewerage and Water Board and Lard Oil. This allows us to continue operations while we finalize the award of a new contract. The second change order is ratification of change order number 1 for contract 30250, basin number 9 sewer rehab between BLD and the Sewerage and Water Board. This looks like it's a high dollar change order relative to the contract amount, but it's really a shifting from JIRR project RR067 to a Sewerage and Water Board project. So it doesn't effectively change the dollars we spend, it's just the bucket that they're in. The third change order is Resolution 009, 2024. This is ratification of change order number 5 for contract 1417 for a static frequency converter procurement. This is a tax exemption change order that will reduce the cost of the project in the amount of $1.1 million as we are a tax exempt organization. The third change order is Resolution 010, 2024. This is a ratification of change order number 5 for contract 1418, the Carrollton Water Plant Utility Rack Project. This is additional cost for unforeseen slabs and subsurface conditions encountered during construction. The fifth change order is Resolution 011, 2024. This is a ratification of change order number 5 for contract 1376. This is our Water Hammer Hazard Mitigation Program, also related to unforeseen subsurface conditions encountered during construction. And the final change order is Resolution 012, 2024. This is a ratification of change order number 1 for contract 2151, which is the St. Bernard Transmission Main, or TM002, which is a part of FEMA project worksheet 19846. This is a closeout change order accounting for final quantities and some costs related to drainage work encountered during construction. Are there any questions on the change orders?
All right, any questions? We will need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Director Sloss. We need a second. Seconded by Director Duplessis. Any further questions for discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? None. We have fully adopted the change orders.
Very good. Final body of work here. We have 4 contract amendments. All of these are related to JIRR projects and are related to additional time during construction. So these are final amendments for designers. The first is Resolution 016, 2024. This is an authorization of amendment number 11 between the Sewerage and Water Board and Digital Engineering, Inc. And this is in the amount of $110,000 and will bring us through the end of construction. The second one of these amendments is Resolution 017, 2024. This is resolution of amendment number 9. This is the second correction we've got. It says 8 there, it should read 9. This is additional time and compensation between the board and GEC, Inc. This increases the value $126,752 and brings us through the end of construction. The third amendment is Resolution R018, 2024. This is the authorization of amendment number 13 between the Sewerage and Water Board and Linfield, Hunter and Junius. And this increases the contract amount by $56,151 and takes us through the end of construction. And finally, Resolution 019, 2024. This is the authorization of amendment number 9 between the Sewerage and Water Board and Mott McDonald. This increases the contract by a total of $7,570 and takes us through the end of construction. Are there any questions on the amendments?
Okay, thank you. We have amendments on the table as presented by the General Superintendent. We need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Okay, been moved by Director Anthrop. We need a second. Seconded by Director Howard. Any further questions for discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Okay, the amendments have been adopted. Ms. Yolanda.
And now we have executive session, so we will need a motion to move into executive session,
We
Mayor.
need a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Moved by Director Pacho, seconded by Director Sloss. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, ayes have it in executive session.
Moved.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion to come out of executive session by Director Sloss. We need a second.
Second.
Seconded by Director Pacho. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Hearing none, we are out of executive session. Moving forward, we need a motion to defer. Ms. Yolanda.
Yes, we'll need a motion to defer the matter to the next regularly scheduled board meeting in February.
Okay,
So moved.
moved by Director Sloss,
Second.
seconded by Director Anthrop. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Okay, ayes have it. The agenda item has been deferred to the next meeting, February 2024. Now we need a motion to adjourn.
Oh, just Mayor, do we have any public comments?
Oh, public comment.
Okay.
No public comment.
Okay, thank you.
Need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Director Howard, seconded by Director Sloss. All in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank y'all.
Thanks, Mayor.